right, everybody, welcome to our Tech Spotlight session. Very excited today to have Trayvon and Jared joining us. I'm Mike Murata from the Assistive Tech Advocacy Center. We have Jessie with us. I want to introduce her. Jessie just joined our team, and she's going to be taking over these Tech Spotlights. So she's here kind of watching how I muddle it up and then make sure she does not that when she takes over. So let's see how that goes. As with everything, we have the ability here for you all to turn on your cameras, your mics. You can use the chat, however you want to join the conversation. I'm sure the gentleman would welcome some discussion back and forth. It seems like it from our chat before we all jumped in. So without further ado, I'll let you guys jump in and I'll just sit back and be quiet. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we appreciate everybody showing up. The second time, it seems like we got this time right. So I'm very excited to
Second
share
time's a
with everybody.
charm, Trayvon, right?
Right, exactly. As Mike mentioned, feel free to jump in the conversation. If you have any questions, anything in the middle of this, just raise a hand, and yeah, we can make it happen. But let's go ahead and kind of jump into it. Let's have a discussion regarding the Safeway ban. So I was sleeping one day. I was awakened by a fire alarm and checked the surroundings. Everything was fine, but I asked myself, well, what if I didn't hear that fire alarm? What if I was deaf, right? Hard of hearing. So I went to Google, like most people, and looked for resources and tools that the deaf and hard of hearing community would use. And upon our research, we found two options. One being a visual component, which was the flashing light. I personally discarded that because I was sleeping and my eyes were closed. So a visual alert when my eyes were closed didn't seem like an effective tool. And then the next one was the almighty popular bed shaker. And I'm sure people are familiar with the bed shaker. It's a piece of hardware that sits on your mattress and you can plug it into the wall and it'll pick up the fire alarm and vibrate your bed for you. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have children, and with children comes random spurts of sleep, meaning that sometimes I fall asleep on the couch, sometimes the recliner, wherever it may be. So my next thought was, well, if I fall asleep on my couch, I don't have access to my bed shaker. It's completely in one place. So I called my partner Jarrett and basically said, "Hey, Jarrett, debunk this. Let me know. Can you find any tools out there that isn't a flashing light or isn't a bed shaker?" And he came back and was like, "Trey, I can't find anything." So I was like, "Well, what if we create this wearable device, this wristband that is wireless and waterproof, and it can alert you when a fire alarm goes off in your house?" But then we started digging a little deeper and said, well, what if not only it will respond to a fire alarm, but what if it could respond to anything smart? So what if this can vibrate to my Ring doorbell? What if it can vibrate to my baby monitoring system? And that's exactly what we created at Safewave. So what we developed is a wireless waterproof wristband that pairs to our Safewave mobile application via Bluetooth. So you can download the Safewave app on Google Play as well as iOS, and you pair the Safewave band to the app. Once you're paired to the app, we have three tabs at the bottom. All you have to do is hit your alerts tab. And when you hit that alerts tab, you'll see it's kind of bright, but I use my Safeway band. This is my Ring doorbell camera. I have text message alerts, and I have my baby monitor since I do have a younger son, right? But basically, once you're on this panel, the alerts panel, you can add any mobile application that you have or that you want to be alerted of for the Safeway band. So I would click this plus arrow or plus icon in the corner, and it gives me access to all the mobile applications on the App Store, meaning that if you have any product or anything that you get alerted from that is a mobile application, this wristband will vibrate to that. So what we did is we took it a step further. Well, this doesn't have a watch face on it, so how do I know, if it's my doorbell or how do I know if it's my fire alarm, right? So once you add an alert to your alerts panel, you can click it for one step further. So my doorbell, for example, I will click ring and it opens up a new screen. And this new screen, what it allows me to do is control the strength of that vibration and how many times this band will vibrate. So I know that if my Safeway band vibrates 4 times, I know somebody ring my doorbell or somebody's at my front door. I know that if my Safeway band vibrates 5 times, it's my baby monitor. And then, of course, so on and so forth. I got my text messages set at 2. My alarm clock set nonstop, so it'll vibrate nonstop until I go in and turn it off, right? So essentially, what we created is a wristband that allows individuals to control the types of vibrations they get as far as strength and as far as how many times it vibrates for any mobile application out there on the market. Now, we know that people are Apple Watch lovers, so we don't want to replace your Apple Watch. The Safeway band can actually host an Apple Watch. So you just slide this onto the Apple Watch face instead of this white adapter piece that I have right here, and you can use your Apple Watch with the Safeway band. Um, so what I can kind of give you guys a little bit of details of what we are working on. So we are going to give more freedom to the vibration itself. So as I mentioned, right now it's strength and the amount of times it vibrates. We're also going to give freedom as far as how long the vibration lasts and how long the timing is between each vibration to give 4 different vibration controls to the people out there to give you full custom feeling, right? Right now, as I mentioned, we're focused a lot of apps which are in-house. So your doorbells, your baby monitors, your fire alarm. We've seen people use it for the Dexcom as far as measuring blood sugar levels, glucose. So we have parents who might wear this when their child, let's say needs a juice at night and their blood sugar drops. It'll alert the parent via vibration on the wrist versus send an alert to the phone. But where we're going with this is we want to build an entire ecosystem around it. So where we kind of envision this going is if I'm driving and somebody honks at me, this will vibrate. If a first emergency responder is passing, it'll vibrate all the way down to when I walk into my local grocery store. It gives me the ability to connect to their system so that I now have alerts in public spaces, right? So essentially right now it's focused in home, but we plan on adding a lot of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of an overall of the Safeway band, and of course, let's open the floor. Let's have a conversation, and I'm interested to hear some thoughts and feedback.
All right,
Yeah,
everybody.
Kim.
I
I was
love
gonna
to hear
say,
the
Kim.
comments. Kim's got a great idea in the chat.
Yeah. Which is awesome because iPhones. I'm sure Google does as well. They have reminder apps on your phone. So yeah, absolutely. You can just add that reminder to the tab in the Safewave app, and however many times your reminder sends you a notification, this will vibrate too. So if your reminder app sends you, an alert every 4 hours, and you don't have your phone on you, no problem. As long as you have that added on your Safewave alerts tab, it'll pick it up and it'll send you that vibration to remind you.
That's really cool. I'm very impressed.
It's been a
What
long time coming.
what is the white thing that's actually attached to the band? Does that not have to be there? Is that just like, I don't know, what
No,
is
no, yeah, that's a great question. So it is white. I do white for the demos just to put emphasis on it. It's just a plastic piece.
Oh,
So as you
okay. So
notice,
you
it's a
can take that off.
band. Yeah, yeah. If you notice that it's vibrating right now, somebody walked out my door. So this white piece is just an adapter piece that we do send with it. So in order for the band to stay on the wrist, we send an adapter piece. It's just plastic. It doesn't hold anything special besides keeping it on your wrist. And
Yep.
obviously, if you have an Apple Watch, the Apple Watch would go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just an adapter piece to keep it on the wrist.
Okay. And what's the cost?
Yeah, I seen Brian's question as well, so I'm glad you asked that. We sell Safewave at $150, so $149.99. One-time fee, and then the software is completely included.
That's great. Very reasonable.
Thank you.
Okay, when I Google Safeway band, I get music at my grocery store. How do I find it? Where are you?
Wait, say it again.
When I Google Safeway band, all I get is music at the grocery store.
That really made me laugh. Sorry. Really, I just put
yeah,
I put the link in the chat also.
Okay.
yeah. There you go.
Safeway pet. Okay.
Yeah, so we are we are a startup based out of the Northern Kentucky region. So we
Huh.
started building this back in 2019, literally out of our basement. Um, we it's been a group of four of us for the past 5 years doing it, and we went to market May 5th of 2024. So we haven't been at market yet for a year. But this year we're really focused on just spreading the word and getting it out there. Now that we've been able to talk to customers and we've gotten feedback from people, right? So that I think this is the year where we're kind of hopefully you're getting Safewave tech and not the band Safewave.
Are there any thoughts to make different kinds of bands so that technology molded into different size bands?
Yeah. So right now we have a small, medium, large. What we noticed is that since we bootstrapped, right, since we literally built it from the ground up, we went small, medium, large, and next year we plan on doing a one size fits all.
Mm,
And when we do the one size fits all, we'll be able to incorporate colors and things of such. So this year, we've really been focused on just the software of it. We want to make sure that the product works the way that we says it works. And we want to make sure that the product is in a place where we can have it working and connecting to local grocery stores or even, there are, factories, warehouses that this could be used in, right? So this year was really focused on I guess you can say the software of it, as well as the firmware of it. Next year, we're going to focus on the aesthetics, how pleasing it looks, the sizing, all the colors and things like that, right? But for the past, I guess, 5 years, it's all been functionality, things like that.
nice. It's a good solid plan. I like that. Other thoughts or questions about
Thank
this?
you.
Great questions by everybody. Thank you.
Now, what is the band made of?
Yeah, the band's made of silicone, so
Ooh,
stretchy material.
ooh. No other options, huh?
Not right now. I know. We get people with allergies all the time with it,
Yep.
and I know. I wish I could have a cloth. I wish I could. Next year, like I said, next year will be the when we really start looking into just colors, things like later this year, launching next year, we'll have more materials, more colors, more things like that. So while just some insider while ordering this, right? So we're ordering inventory, and when ordering inventory, at first we had, and this is why you see a white adapter, we had white, black, pink, and blue. Well, white, black, pink, and blue is four different options, but we also had small, medium, large. So trying to order inventory on 12 different variables, we were like, pause. We don't want, we don't want 30 white bands never selling, right? So what we did is we kind of scaled back a little bit and said, let's just release a black band, small, medium, large, three variables, and then we can take our time and efforts, put it into actually developing out the tech further, making an actual ecosystem around the product itself. And then next year we'll focus on the aesthetics, like the silicone, the colors, when it's one size fits all. Because when it's one size fits all, in manufacturing world, it's called tooling, but really the molds. When you have a one size fits all, it's one mold, and we can just have fun with the colors and material. Whereas when it's small, medium, large, there's multiple different moving parts that we want to get rid of. Right? We want to give people the freedom to buy a band that works for them and shows a little bit of personality. And we aren't there yet, but we're thinking, and we're going to get there very soon.
Can you explain the like so four beeps, five vibrates, six vibrates.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just concerned about like someone keeping track of like every time it vibrates and like now you have to count 6 times, you have to count 5 times, and then remember what that meant. And then also
Yeah.
like, so if it vibrates and then it stops and you're like, oh, how many was that? Can you repeat it or like what? How does that like? Because it feels like a lot to remember.
Yeah, yeah. You got to give yourself a little bit more credit. Meaning that when you set something to 4, believe it or not, your brain's going to count it before you even realize you're counting it. So we had that question frequently, right? Where it's like, well, I set my baby monitor for 5, my doorbell's at 4, this is at this. What does that mean, right? You'll learn really quickly that as soon as the band vibrates one time, you're already that first vibration, your mental already counts it as 1. And then you'll feel it. Another thing to notice too is that the Safeway band isn't the Safeway band isn't meant for you to have 1 through 5 filled out. And I'm saying that because we're building a product that isn't like the typical alerting device, meaning that your most important alerts is what this should be for. So for me, like I said, it's my Ring doorbell. I want to know who's at my house. And then my baby monitor. I want to know when my child's moving or crying. I'm not going to connect my Facebook to this. I'm not going to connect my Snapchat. I'm not going to connect the weather app. I'm going to connect my most important things to me. And with that being said, I've never missed a vibration or wondered what the count was, right? And then if you do, obviously, you can pick up your phone and your phone will show you, right? But it's very amazing what the brain can do. Once you feel that first vibration, it's like an automatic start. And then I always know what's going on based on the count. It's very easy as well because it's on the wrist and you're feeling it. So the count doesn't get messed up. I don't want to say that it won't, right? But the brain is an amazing thing. And I don't know how it does it, but that's a problem that I don't think anybody would experience. And if they do, it's slim. The brain kind of just auto counts it for you in a sense.
So do you think this would be appropriate for like older adults who are becoming deaf as they age?
Yeah, in a sense. It all depends, right? It's all variables. I think that the aging community is definitely a target. So what expanded the vision in general. So like I said, I was awoken by a fire alarm, and that's what had me think about fires. So my great, 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 3-time great aunt, this year she's turning 85. So basically my aunt lives in a condo. I was able to walk into her condo, which is a flat, and I can make it all the way to the living room, and she doesn't notice I'm there. So what did my mind jump to instantly? Well, what if this band can vibrate to let her know I'm or anybody's walking in the house? Well, it's simple. We put a Ring doorbell in the front, and now my 80-year-old aunt wears a Safeway band, and if anybody approaches her door, whether it's groceries, packages, whatever, she's not notified. So I definitely think that it's something that the older community can use. Absolutely. And just to put more emphasis on it, you download the app, and once you're in the Safewave app, it's as simple as hitting an alerts tab and adding something. So it's literally 2-3 steps for them to add what they need added. And then as well, you can always go into that application and you can, disable it. So now my wristband won't vibrate to my doorbell anymore. It'll just get my text messages. So it's extremely plug and play style. It's not too complicated to work compared to the Apple Watch, which is kind of what we're trying to get away from is that Apple Watch and how complex it can be, intimidating, I should say. So I definitely would recommend it for somebody who's a little bit older, like my 85-year-old great 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 aunt.
I think Susan brings up some really good points. I think anytime that in the past I've gone to some kind of um, vibrating notification band or watch or something like that, it's because that person has had like kind of one key issue that they need to be attentive to. And I think you're right, Trayvon. The idea of an Apple Watch for somebody who needs one notification becomes a bit overkill. It's kind of too much. But if it is something like, and who said meds? And the Kim, yeah, Kim said in the chat meds. That idea of setting a notification that just buzzes for meds, that might be all this does for someone. And then over time, going to Susan's comment about this idea of how to track all the different vibrations. Maybe it becomes it vibrates once for one action and three times for another. So it's not counting, but
Yeah.
it's noticing that it's more than one. And that's how you start
Yeah.
to build some of this up for people. And those
Yeah.
become part of those issues. And I think it fits in a really nice spot, kind of a sweet spot
Yeah.
for people that don't want too much tech or won't be able to kind of navigate too much tech, but need something to keep them on track with these things that are happening. So I think it's great.
Yeah, and it goes back to the specific of it, right? Where, as I mentioned, there was a parent whose child's blood sugars would drop during the night, and for her, she can be alerted through the cell phone if she sleeps with it in her pocket or under her pillow, but she's not using this band but one time a day, and that's at night when she's sleeping. So that if that blood sugar drops, she's notified and she knows, hey, my child needs a juice tonight, right? Or even one of our other customers, Michelle, who has a daughter, who has Duke 15. So, in the body of a 20-year-old, mind of a 5-year-old, and she roams the house sometimes. So Michelle sets a camera up outside the house, outside the door. So once the daughter walks out the bedroom, it's alerted through the vibration of the band, right? Yeah. So we want to build something that people can take and they create whatever type of vibration or haptic alerts that they want on their wrist. And I do think, though, even following up with Susan and the questions, those are amazing questions, right? You're thinking ahead. That's phenomenal questions. We're really doubling down though on that. People are using it for things that that they really worry about. Deaf parents and baby monitors. We have working class people who wake up and use it as an alarm clock, right? So these are real cases that people are really having struggles with being alerted for. So, yeah, there's amazing questions. They're great questions.
Thanks. Sorry. It sounds great. I get the like stripping it down to not be so many alerts makes it much more, understandable. And my question is, how do you charge it and how often do you have to charge it?
Yeah, so the battery life on it is 48 to 72 hours. It takes about 50 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes to charge. And it's all wireless. So the same charger as an Apple Watch face. So this bad boy right here. So while traveling through the airport now, we have people who carry bed shakers with them through the airport while going on vacation. This is your alarm clock on vacation. It's just a Apple Watch charger.
Do
So you
like
can buy
that
that
idea.
separately.
I like that idea.
That doesn't come with it, right?
Oh,
You have
good
to buy the
question.
No, it does.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it comes with the charger.
Yeah. So the charger. Yeah. That's another thing too. Is I don't understand why all these new tech companies are taking things away from the consumer that they need. Right. So what's inside of the Safeway box? You're going to get the Safeway band. You're going to get the Safewave adapter. You're going to get the Safewave charger, and you're going to get the Safewave wall mount as well. We're not going to make you go and buy your own wall block. We're going to send one with it.
That's almost enough to make me want to buy this. Is that you're going to give me the block for the wall.
Right? Yeah. So it all comes with it.
Susan, great question.
Have you heard any feedback on customers gaining more independence from having used the product? Like
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. So, even baby monitors fall into that story, right? So, a lot of our users are deaf mothers that rely on their husband to wake them up when the baby's crying, or the husband's going out of town for a work trip. Mom's at home by herself. How are we going to be, hearing the baby cry at night? It creates, tension when it comes to the parent sleeping now because I don't want to miss my baby crying. It messes with a lot of stuff. Yeah, independence for sure. I got customers right now that use it, like I said, when their husbands are out on work trips, when the baby's crying. But even some of those, teens that, the 17, 18-year-olds that might not have the proper alarm clock in the morning when it comes to going to school. Well, this right here will wake them up in the morning and give them that option. So we see it with a lot of, spouses, when you have the spouse that one's deaf, the other's not, really it does help with that independence as far as alerting goes. Or even we have users down in Florida right now who, a single lady lives by herself. And at night, she says sometimes she fears that she's not going to hear when somebody's at her front door. So she'll sleep with this on, and yeah. So yeah, definitely independence. It's giving them that freedom to just have extra support that isn't visual, because I noticed that a lot of things, once again, is we'll have lights that are connected to doorbells, or we'll have other things that are lights that are connected, but once again, I've experienced through sleeping that my eyes aren't there. But also, if I'm laser focused on this screen right now and I have a light in my right corner, I might miss my doorbell right now because I can't see the light, right? I'm speaking on a customer experience. But yeah, so absolutely more independence, more connectivity. And I think it's just a way to take a smart environment and alert people that may not be able to hear, right?
Excellent. Any other questions from anybody? Again, you were all fantastic. Good questions. Love it. Again, the website address that is in the chat, but it is safewavetech.com. There it is. Trayvon just put his email address in there. Trayvon at safewavetech.com. So definitely reach out.
Anybody feel free to reach out with questions, any type of inputs, anything. Like I mentioned, guys, we really bootstrapped this, and we built this for the people. We built it for overlooked, underserved communities. That's what we were as founders. We're overlooked, underserved founders, right? So we understand it. We're going through it with everybody and ready to create an ecosystem around this. We plan on tackling dementia, Alzheimer's, special needs next. In the coming years, we got some cool features we're going to roll out as far as tracking and two-way communications and stuff. So we're excited to be on this journey, and happy to get in front of you guys. You guys are like, one of the first 200 people that we've been in front of. So it's awesome, right?
That's great. So, well, Trayvon, thank you. Jared, thank you. Everybody who joined us today, thank you. Thank you for participating. Thank you for asking questions. They were great questions. We really appreciate it. We will post this recording up on our YouTube channel, so search for that if you want to check this out afterwards. Our YouTube channel is ATACNJ. You'll be able to find it there, and hopefully we'll see you at another one of our events soon. Trayvon, thank you again. Appreciate it. It's great stuff.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time.
See you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.